Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Ibnu Annas. I'm from IPSI Malagunda. Today, I'm going to do my midterm test presentation about language assessment with my student ID 33220164. So, in this presentation, I will explain about two parts. For the first part is about types of validity in language assessment, and the second part is about the developing C test. For the context of developing the C test, I have prepared the two texts that I think it is related for the C test, and it's good to be mentioned for the C test. So for the first one, the types of validity in language assessment, there are five types of validity: content related, criterion, construct, consequential, and phase of validity. But first, I will explain a little bit about the definition of validity. So, the definition of validity is testing refers to extent which the test is measured. So, in other words, the results serve as a reliable indicator of a specific construct being studied or the actual condition. But in the summary of the validity, it depends on the validity. When the test or the study is valid, the result can be trusted to inform the practice and for the future result. Okay, let's move on to the first types of validity. It is content-related validity. So, content-related validity is refers to the degree which the test is measurement tool. As in other words, how the test is well covered by the content that it claims to be assessed. For example, I take an example from the English test. So an English proficiency test for the university admission should be assessed about grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, and also speaking, with the text reflecting for the academic skill. The second is criterion-related validity. So the criterion-related validity is refers how well the test result is correlated with the other measures by the same ability or with the future outcomes. In other words, it determines whether the test is finding data consistent with the real performance or behavior that the test is designed to predict. As an example, same as the content-related validity, I take an example from the English test. As an English proficiency test, criterion-related validity when a high test result is accurately predict a student capacity to success in academic texts such as writing essay or understanding English literature. The third one types of validity is construct-related validity. This construct validity is how well a test is evaluated the theoretical notion or maybe a talent that is designed to examine. So if the test claims to measure a language proficiency, we need to ensure that it's actually assessing the learner's language ability and not other unrelated content or factors. So whether the results are consistent or maybe what is projected under that theory. For the example, construct validity in an English test is demonstrated when it effectively assesses language skills such as maybe grammar, vocabulary, energy comprehension, like content validity. It is, but in other words, it's defined by language proficiency theory. So if the test maybe just focus on the completely on word memorization, it will lack of construct validity, and it's not to be measured as a construct related validity. Now, before the last one, we have a consequential validity. So this is the shortest explanation about types of validity. This relates to how a test is affected as an individual's institution or maybe a society, both positively and maybe negative. It looks at how the test finding affect as maybe making a decision, behaviors, or opportunities. Ensure that the students have the linguistic skill that is necessary for academic achievement. So, in other words, that this consequence of validity maybe could have a negative consequence, such as disadvantage who may not be familiar with the linguistic skills and thus was affecting as their performance unfairly. And the last one, we have a fast validity. This validity refers how to perceive the validity from a test that is based on its design and how the people interpret it, like including the test takers, administrator, and those who are not trained in a test design. As an example, English test has a high face validity if the test taker and the administration believe it is effectively evaluates English skill, like their grammar, their reading comprehension is on way as the questions are presented. Let's move on to the second part of my presentation. This is the C test and its application. Before moving on to the developing the C test, uh, I have take two texts for the example of the test training application. The first one is the topic about the importance of gaining votes in the 2024 election in Indonesia. And the second is about the morpheme and morphological processes, derivation versus inflection. And then the scoring guide and justification. The scoring guide is how the C test to be grading on its application. First, there are three questions. First one is why I choose the two texts for the C test application and how the text is aligned with the language level. Is it aligned with the elementary school, junior high school, or maybe a senior high school? And the number three is the advantage of using the C test, unlike the cloze test and multiple choice. And the last is justification. So the first one is like this text, demonstrating the importance of getting for the 2024 election. I have removed in other words, the last two letters of every word is being removed. So the student or the test taker should guess what words or maybe what letters or alphabet that could fit in some missing words in the missing line. There are in the first one there are 35 missing words, 35 blank that the test taker should be guessed. And the second one about the morphemes and morphological process, about derivation versus inflection. There are 45, if I'm not mistaken, 45 blank words that 45 blank words, yeah, that the test taker should correct basically. And this is the answer key for the text 1 and the text 2. The text 1 there are 35 answer key, which means that there are 35 blank words. The text 2 there are 45 answer key, which means that there are 45 blank words. Now let's move to the scoring guide. So the scoring guide is used to be an exact word meaning or EWM, which means that every word the test taker or the student gets to be correct will earn 1 point for every correct answer. But besides, if they correct if they incorrect answer, if they have the incorrect answer, they only have 0 point, which means nothing. So based on the text 1, there are 35. Based on the text 2, there are 45. The total for the score is 80, and the grading itself consisting from the A, B, C, D. A perfect, B good, C average, and D bad, which means if the test taker of the or the student have C or D, they have to learn more. And last is justification. Like I said before, why I choose the two texts for C test and how the text is aligned with uh, the language level and advantage of using the C test. First, why I choose the C the two text for C test. I choose the specific test for C test because it's provide a clear structure and introduction of a complex linguistic concept. In the first text, I want the test taker or maybe the student to understand both everyday English and more specialized vocabulary related to the politics and for the election, so that they require the learner not only know the basic vocabulary but also understanding more complex language structure and the specific political terminology. The second text is to evaluate the learner understanding of more themes about derivation and inflectional, like the smallest unit of meaning in language. So the test taker will include should include the word that requires learners to complete both derivational and inflectional variants. Now the second one, how the text is aligned with the language level. The reason why I chose the two texts is that the language level I can determine as an intermediate to advance the student, as it introduces the concept of vocabulary, the grammar, and the reading comprehension. So the students are likely to be familiar with the language teaching and ready to engage the more complex academic student. So while advanced the learners to be challenged with a more complex sentence, and this is for the specialist, the terminology for the test taker. Last but not least, the advantage using the C-test besides using close tag and open-ended question. The C-test has a safer advantage for the alternate assessment, unlike the close test. Close test that it only focus on the isolated words. The C-test is requires the student to reconstruct the context. Like the student must know every kind of word, every kind of vocabulary, every kind of grammar, and testing the word vocabulary and reading comprehension. So compared to a multiple choice question, it promotes an active engagement and an independent recall. Now, besides the class test, besides open-ended writing, which can be very subjective, that the test offers a more objective measure of language proficiency by focusing on accuracy in filling the gap. So, in other words, the efficiency of using the C-test, it is a quick administered and it could be said that easy to be scored, that making it ideal for a large-scale assessment. And for the adaptability, like the close test or maybe the open-ended writing, the C-test can be customized to be a wide range of the context, like include like from the text one, including political discourse, the text two about the morphemes, inflectional and derivation for their academic language, maybe informal communication. So I think that is the last for my presentation about the types of validity. Like the first I mentioned the definition first, and then there are construct validity, criterion validity, content validity, consequential validity, and face validity. And in the second part, I explain about the developing the C test, about the election of 2024 in Indonesia, and the second text is about the morpheme versus morpheme, inflectional versus derivational, and about how the scoring guide is. I'm using the EWM, exact word method, which means you must correct You must answer correct if you want to have a point. And the last is the justification uh, about why I chose the two texts for the C test and how they align with the language level. And the last, the advantage of using C tests besides cross tests and open-ended writing. My name is Ibnu Annas. I end this presentation. If there are any kind of mistakes, I may be very sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.